Well, I hope everyone is having a great day. Guys, I'm awake, but I'm not awake, but I'm awake. It looks like it's going to rain here in my city and state of Florida. So I'm not sure, but I believe it's like 70 something degrees out. Guys, I really wanted to share this with you really, really quickly. Um, this title, if you want to, because I'm not going to do the whole thing, but the title of it is The Town Where White People Were Illegal. So this makes it a sundown town in 1904 in Mississippi. But I'll let him tell the story for you because it's just ironically that I've seen this on my timeline because I never knew about it and I never seen anyone talk about this. So let's begin.
And started causing a scene, a ruckus, shoving, acting like he owned the place. In any other town in the South.
Disclaimer is educational purposes only because we're going to get this right between color, creed, religion, or whatever. We should not be non-biased. We should not be biased by it, rather. Okay, so let's keep an open mind. Let us continue.
If a black man touched him, it was a death sentence. The rules were very simple. White man could do no wrong, and a black man had no power. But this wasn't any other town. It was Mound Bayou. The marshal stepped out in front of the crowd, and he was a black man wearing a press uniform and a badge on his chest that gave him the full power of the state. He didn't look down. He didn't ask for permission. He walked right over to the man and put his hand.
Guys, this guy, this black melanoid guy, he took over the town, but he did it the legal way. What they did was they sold him swampland, $7 an acre. Mind you, this is back in 1904, so pay attention, okay, to the storyline. Let's continue.
Hand on the shoulder and told him that he was under arrest. Imagine the confusion on his face. He was looking around for a white officer to save him. He was looking for a white judge to dismiss his charges. But he realized a terrifying truth. None of that was coming.
As you enter in, guys, please do subscribe, okay? Educational purposes only. The first known all-black sundown town.
The mayor was black, the judge was black, and the cops were black. For the first time in his life, the color of his skin was not a get-out-of-jail-free card. And this is the story of Mound Bayou. This is One Mic Black History. I'm your host, Country Boy. If you like stories like this, you can
guys, if you guys hear me eating, I'm just having some coleslaw, okay?
Without further ado,
sorry. You see what it says?
It's so easy to become a podcast.
The story of the sundown black sundown. Hold up, guys, because I cannot believe this. Hold on. The story of the black sundown town.
This wasn't a fantasy. It wasn't a movie. This was a real place. A black fortress in the middle of one of the most racist states in America. A place where
this is what it will be like if you guys want if you guys want segregation.
To talk about town.
You have a black judge, black police officer,
you know some of the names,
a black everything. But that still doesn't make it that you would get away with the law. Let's continue to tune in. Please subscribe.
It's a story that we've been taught that everything we've ever built, they destroyed it. But that doesn't tell the complete story. There was a town that they couldn't burn.
I know, right, Marissa?
A century as a living, breathing proof that black people did not need integration to survive. All they needed was infrastructure. This is the story of Mound Bayou, Mississippi.
1904, guys.
What it looked like when it came.
My grandmother was born in 1908.
This is your blueprint. So, to understand how a place like this could even exist, you have to go back to a bit of a paradox. You have to go back to a plantation called Davis Bend. Decades before the Civil War, there was a plantation owned by Joseph Davis, the older brother of Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy. But
Interesting.
Joseph Davis was different. He was a utopian socialist. He believed that if you gave enslaved people enough autonomy, they could produce more. So he set up a system that looked less like a labor camp and more like a twisted experiment on self-governance.
Thank you, Marissa. Please
Enslaved
be
people had
safe.
their own court system with their
And
own
tune back
judges
in whenever
and
you
juries
can.
to
Have
settle
a great
disputes.
day.
They were trained to be managers. They learned how to keep complex ledgers, how to negotiate contracts with steamboat captains, and how to run a massive agricultural enterprise. Growing up in this system was a young man by the name of Isaiah T. Montgomery. He was more than just a laborer. He was a secretary. He was in the room where deals were being made. He saw the paperwork, and he learned the hidden language of capitalism. When the Civil War ended, Isaiah looked around at the chaos of Reconstruction and saw the violence rising. He saw the Ku Klux Klan forming, and he realized something profound. Integration was a trap. As long as black people lived under white jurisdiction, they would never truly be free. He didn't want to fight for a seat at the table. He was trying to build his own damn house. He knew that he couldn't just take the land. He had to make a deal with the system. So in 1887, he found a surveyor's map and pointed to a spot in the Yazoo Delta, a place that no one wanted. It was about 840 acres of nightmare. It was thick with timber, swamp water, and black bears. The mosquitoes were so thick that if you waved your hand, you'd catch a fistful. The Louisville, New Orleans, and Texas Railroad owned the land, but they couldn't do anything with it because no white settlers were desperate enough to clear it. So Isaiah Montgomery put on his suit and went to the railroad executives and made them a business proposition. He said, "You have a railroad going through a useless swamp. Sell it to us. We'll clear the trees, we'll drain the water, we'll plant the cotton, and we'll turn your empty track into a gold mine." The white executives simply saw dollar signs. They thought they were taking advantage of a desperate people. They had no idea they were funding a fortress.
This game is called chess, not checkers. Okay? Because it's real time in real life.
Montgomery would purchase the land for $7 an acre. But here's where the genius part came in, and the part that changed history. He set up a charter for the town. The policy included that the land in Mound Bayou could only be sold to other black folks. Think about that. He used the exact same restrictive covenants that white neighborhoods like Levittown used to keep.
Okay, do you see this, guys? For those of you who want to question my intelligence, please don't do that. Because as a former college student, we know not to plagiarism, okay? Respectfully, let's continue.
Keep us out, but he flipped that weapon. He used it to keep the oppressors out. This created an invisible wall around his town. If you didn't own the land, you couldn't vote in the town elections. If you couldn't vote, you couldn't be the sheriff. You couldn't be the judge. By controlling the land, you controlled the law. He moved with some urgency. He knew
Guys,
they
if
were
you're just
on
coming
a
into the
race
room,
against
this is an
time. The
all-black
first settlers
town.
crept through in rough shanties, fighting off malaria and wild animals while clearing the trees by hand. But within a decade, the swamp was gone, and the place was a bit of a miracle. By 1907, if you walked through the streets of
1907, guys.
you wouldn't have seen the struggle. You would have seen power. There were 13 black-owned stores. You would see 3 cotton gins humming with machinery. You would see a train depot that was busier than some of the white depots in neighboring towns. They even printed a newspaper, The Demonstrator, because if you didn't control the media, someone else would write your story for you. But this isn't just about buildings. The town also closed the loop.
Guys, the purpose of me showing this is just to show you how much history goes way, 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 way back. It's a lot of things that we don't know as people, no matter the religion, color, or creed, okay? So if someone is going to share things with you, have an open mind to listen, not to be judgmental or fight back, because that's not what it's for. information is for sharing, okay? This is a one world, and we all should get along, and we all should love each other. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a glimpse, but I also want you guys to go back and watch the full thing.
Farmer would grow his cotton, but he has to
because this is a true story in real time. It's not an all-in Alkaline made-up story. So let's keep it alkaline, okay?
Where they would charge him predatory interest. And
they had their own bank.
Store that wouldn't even let him
all black town, okay?
Every black dollar went into white hands.
And this is not Wall Street. This is a whole different total thing. This was before Wall Street, the Black Wall Street rather.
Founded in 1904.
If you want to be technical about it.
Banks. They called him the Wizard of Finance. He understood that freedom wasn't real unless you could fund it. When he opened the bank, it wasn't just a place to store cash. Farmers from all over the Delta, even outside of the town, started to bring their money to Charles Banks because when he walked to the lobby, they were treated like human beings. They could get a loan to buy seed or equipment without signing away their dignity. And
guys, I would say consider this as a blueprint, if that's where your mindset is at. On a serious note, let this be your blueprint, is all I can tell you. But at any rate, it is what it is. We all know that we all are capable of doing things. It's not just one color, creed, or religion, okay? That's the point of me showing this, just to educate you.
And that money stayed within the town. The bank lent that money to the grocer hired a carpenter, the carpenter played the doctor, and the dollar circulated 5, 6, 7 times before it left the community.
Okay, we're talking about black community, guys, back in 1904.
Being able to build an app with your name on it. Just
okay, one moment, guys.
Meet Base 44.
But the greatest test of this infrastructure wasn't just banking, it was survival. During the 1940s, if you were black and you got sick in the Mississippi Delta, you were in trouble. White hospitals would not take you, or you were thrown in the basement ward with no heat and no nurses. You could die from a simple infection because you were on the wrong side of the color line. So Mound Bayou decided to build a healthcare system. They didn't ask the government for a grant.
They even had their own healthcare system. Wow. This is amazing and good to know.
These were secret societies, benevolent orders where the members paid small monthly dues, mostly nickels and dimes. It was the original crowdfunding.
Wow. So they even had secret societies back then? Within the community? Okay. Let's continue.
They pulled together these nickels and dimes into a massive war chest and built the Tilbury Hospital in 1942. This place was state-of-the-art for the time. It had x-ray machines, incubators for premature babies, sterile operating theaters that
rivaled anything. They even had their own hospital.
Chicago. They hired black surgeons and paid them top dollar, and they had black nurses in crisp white uniforms. For a sharecropper who spent his whole life being called boy, walking into a black hospital had to be a life-changing experience. The man running this hospital was Dr. T.R.M. Howard. He knew that you couldn't just have a healthy body in a sick society, you had to fix the politics too. So he turned Mounds Bayou into a headquarters for the civil rights movement in the Delta. He launched regional...
Okay, guys, I'm going to stop this here, but I would advise you to start to pull it up on your search engine and just finish the whole thing out and, just get the information, the history of it, and let's all learn from it, okay? But it did exist. That's my point. I just needed to prove. I didn't write the book. I didn't write this story. The story was written way before I was born. But anyways, please do enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope that you had a great lunch. Please do subscribe until I'll be back on live later. And thank you guys for joining the chat, okay? All in Alkaline Lifestyle. Thank you. Educational purposes only.